I don't understand what's happened. What's gone wrong? Now, this could be many reasons. It could just be the band's just not really doing that well anymore, or maybe it's just the fact that since starting this YouTube channel, I have obviously had to keep finding new bands in order to pump out constant content so people don't get bored and forget about me. So I have to keep reminding people, keep putting out content after content, and in doing that, I have found a lot of really talented bands and bands which have an immense amount of potential but may have a few flaws that need to be ironed out. Now, I don't know if in doing this, I've basically just found bands of higher calibers and I've now gotten strict because doing music reviews, you have to, you know, go into absolutely every detail. How good is it? How much better could they be? How much talent do I think these guys have? Are they, going at their full capacity, or do I think they're holding back? Do I think they can grow? Do I think this is as good as what they can do at the minute? So I look at things under an absolute huge microscope. Nothing can, a fair few things can get past me, but from what I am capable of, I will find everything, and I will make sure that I am hearing what I need to and taking things apart to figure out what's being put in front of me. So yeah, with all of this that's happened in the I think I've been doing this for a year now. I don't know if it's just the fact that I now judge everything and expect something, or I've heard better bands now, or maybe it's just Alter Bridge, because I remember going back to their previous catalogue, I still like a lot of their previous songs. So I am really listening to them and going, yeah, this now sucks. They're still just as good. But that could just be basically my fond memory. It could be nostalgic. But so far with this band and the new album, it is so bad. It's terrible. The first song they released, which I have reviewed, Wouldn't You Rather, is a short song around 3-4 minutes, which is a really short length. A pop song can pump that out. So all you've got is basically your intro, your verse, your chorus, back to the same verse, same chorus. You might get a bit of a bridge, you got a solo, and then you got the chorus. Now, there is a solo which gives it a bit more than pop artists have, but the solo wasn't that great. It wasn't melodic, it wasn't overly technical, it was just bland, which a few other people I've talked to who like Alter Bridge also said that it was bland. Now, Pay No Mind was a bit more interesting but slightly worse. It didn't have a solo, therefore it's a short song which is just the intro, verse, chorus, and basically that is it, and then a bridge. Excruciatingly simple structure, nothing, that takes you by surprise. There's nothing grand about it, it's just really simple stuff. The only interesting thing was basically just the kind of electronic kind of tone that they put into the song. But I think it kind of maybe muddied the sound up a bit, so things weren't as articulate as I would have liked from them. But other than that, it was just a really bland song. Now, Take the Crown is like 4 minutes. It's 4 minutes 47 seconds. You got your intro, your verse, your chorus, the verse again, the chorus again, a bridge, and then a chorus with a solo. It's just really, really bad. It is so excruciatingly basic and simple. There's no massive length track. There's no intricacy throughout the song itself. The short songs that Alter Bridge do that last around 4 minutes or 3 minutes, they actually do something with that time. There's interesting leads by Miles, and then you'll have a lead by Mark, and then there'll be another lead by Miles throughout the song to keep the song constantly uplifted, and then Mark will take the solo part. Then you have actual interesting riffs. You have amazing singing. You have leads throughout the song sometimes, as well as a really interesting heavy riff. But these three songs, it is the most simplistic, boring riffs ever. Not ever, but by Alter Bridge standard, they are pathetic. The riffs are uninspired, uninteresting, unthought-provoking, not musical, not melodic, not even technical, really. There is nothing. The only lead I've had through the song is on the first track they released, which is Wouldn't You Rather, which is basically just before Miles kicks in, there's a bit of a lead. But it's not even that great. It's pathetic. There's a few intriguing riff parts in this track, Take the Crown, but it's me basically pushing, just trying to get anything. The chorus is really, really bad. It is so uninteresting, it's just ridiculous. But as I say, the verse, it's simplistic. There's nothing technical. There's nothing musical about it. There's no lead. In certain aspects of the verse, the riff does kind of change and alter slightly to something a tad more interesting, but it's nothing really that big that's really going to be like, oh, this is opening into something special. It's just the riffs changed and it sounds better than the original riff, which is pretty pathetic. The solo. So, the solo starts not really quick. It's just this kind of mid-tempo, kind of fun kind of play that Tremonti's doing. But there's no real technicality to it. There's no real great melody to it. It's not really musical. It's got a fun kind of quick, upbeat tempo to it. But it lacks that emotion of fun. I can tell what it's supposed to be, but I don't feel anything. It just seems hollow. There's no emotion that goes into the solo. Miles at parts sings over it, which is incredibly annoying because Miles has quite a high voice and everything, which kind of fills the sound. So when he kind of comes in, I start to just basically lose all sound of what Mark is doing, and you really have to concentrate to actually get what he's doing because Miles really takes that sound space. So that is quite infuriating, but still listening through Miles, putting a lot more concentration onto what Mark is doing. The first part is, I said, it's just some kind of mid-tempo to fast-paced, kind of fun, energetic kind of solo that then leads into a rather quick one. And he just shreds at the end. Other than that, it's basically it. But for something that is mid to up-tempo and pacing, fun, energetic solo, it sounds confused. That's the best way I can do it. When I listen to Mark doing the solo on this, it just sounds really confused, a little lost. It sounds just like he's trying to get this kind of fun, really catchy, energetic, great sounding solo going, but it just seems so confused of how to do it. It's got certain aspects, but then it's constantly interrupted, so it's just all this weird jumbled kind of mess, and then at the end he just goes into a shred, and it's just like, well, it's not working. I've had something really dull and boring, and then I've just got a mindless shred here. If it was something really catchy and really fun and energetic, and then elevated into a shred, that would be good, but what I'm getting is just confused randomness that lacks emotion going into shred. it's just uninspired and it lacks any kind of emotion or feel. And Tremonti is and likes all the heavy stuff and the fast stuff, but Tremonti does shine most when there is actual melody put into his solos, which he usually does. Even if they're technical, he always usually has a melodic side to it. There is always this melodic undertow, this feel, this emotion underneath the intensity of some of his solos, and then other ones are just completely emotional and beautiful solos that he can actually just pull off on their own. Which is what weird that I've had 3 tracks and 2 of them have really bland, unimaginative, emotionless solos, and one doesn't even have one. And then as for the rest of it, the whole song, there is no interesting leads. There's no interesting riffs. It's just like, what are they trying to do? I don't know if they're trying to just do something really simple, because I'm not getting that they're trying to go for something simple and they're just selling out like Bullet for My Valentine or Disturbed or something. Just basically regurgitate something that anyone can listen to because it's simplistic. I'm not getting that, but I'm not getting anything that seems like they're even trying. If I have to basically break it down, I just think Miles is in a world of his own with his solo project, as well as working with Slash, and I think Tremonti is in a world of his own when it comes to Tremonti, and he puts effort into that. I think Alter Bridge has now kind of started falling apart, and they're not trying as hard. It's not the only thing they have. It's not where all their efforts go into. They stretch their efforts out into all these different things, and I think it's watering down everything. Tremonti's solo project itself is alright, but nothing great. Alter Bridge was bigger and more epic with bigger, better solos, but now it just seems that it's just watered down and just lacks that imagination, which I've gotten from the previous album, Last Hero. I think that's what it was called. Which is kind of when this whole thing kind of started, of them kind of spanning out into other areas. And then coming into Last Hero, I just didn't really connect with anything. There was nothing overly emotional, the solos. There were some good ones, definitely. I'm not going to say there wasn't. There was really good solos, there were some really good songs, but then some of it wasn't great, which is why Last Hero probably was not critically acclaimed like the previous 3 albums have been. Blackbird, AB3, Fortress have all had critical acclaim, and then Last Hero was mixed. And I can understand why. Because half of it seemed there was care and focus, and then the other half just seemed a little confused and lost, and didn't seem to have effort. And here, it's 3 tracks. There's 14 tracks on the album, but I've gone through how long the tracks are to see if there is any big epics. The longest one is 5 minutes 45 seconds. Other than that, the majority of the songs are 3 to 4 minutes, which is pretty pathetic because it just means that there's going to be a lot of songs of extremely basic formulas. And it doesn't look good. It lasts an hour, but I think that's just because they've just given you more tracks, which gets you to 14. So, yeah, I'm worried. All the tracks are pretty damn short, and I think we'll all have the basic pop formula, and then just a random solo thrown in. But so far, I've had 2 solos, and both of them are completely uninspired and lacks imagination or creativity. Emotion, creativity, anything really technical. Like, there's speed at the end of the solo here, which you can say, well, it's speed, therefore technical, but it's still, even the speed sounds like it's uninspired and isn't trying to do speed of a great showmanship. It's just speed for the sake of speed. No, I've been rating these things around a 7 or something, which is like, well, it's good, but I think that's just because I've been a fan of Alter and I've been holding out hope. But this is the third track, which I'm just like, I don't care. I'm not interested. Therefore, this now, seeing that I'm coming out of denial and I'm accepting what I think is going to happen, which is going to be a very bad, unimaginative album that lacked any type of kind of care and passion and commitment. This is just average, if not below. It's just a dull song. It has a solo, so I guess maybe just a 5 out of 10. It's just average. I can listen to it and just be like, yeah, it's alright. But I don't have any reason to go to listen to this. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm alright hearing it, and I won't be disappointed or annoyed by it, but I won't get anything out of it either. So it's just average. And it really is a shame, because this band can do really good stuff. They have a lot of talent, and it just really seems that they're just not caring. They don't seem bothered in the slightest, and these 3 tracks, they suck. They are really, really, really bad and really bland. And for the most part, any kind of indie band could do this. Green Day, Blink, they could all do this sort of thing until it maybe gets to the 2 solos. It's the same kind of structure as, things like Avril Lavigne, Evanescence. It's so bad. So that is gonna be it, unfortunately. And the album is not looking good, especially with how long the tracks are. So I guess it's just basically holding out hope, but I'm not really looking forward to it anymore. I'm really worried. So that'll be it until the next video. So if you want to see what I think of the overall album, then obviously stay tuned to me. But if not, I review other things. But if you're not interested, then that's fair enough. Just thanks for obviously watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video at least. So until then, I hope to see most of you next time. Bye. Thank you.